Okay, so let's go ahead. We're going to find a seated position, and I would invite you to have a blanket or blocks, whichever one is going to feel like best for you. Maybe a puppy can be in your space too. So we're going to find our way up onto the blanket and then move the fluff out from underneath our bottom. And then we're going to take our left heel, let me take off my socks, take your left heel, and we're going to bring it right underneath the perineum, right above the anal. And it's going to take a little bit of time to kind of get yourself situated because it's a tight place. We tend to hold there and we don't even know it. And then let the other foot go in front of it. So if at any point this gets too uncomfortable, come out of it. And then we're just going to let our hands come down. So you're going to have to, kind of find the space that it fits, slots right in, and it'll feel almost like that space will be almost like a little bundle of knots kind of that your heel is pressing into to let it slowly release. So now let's just take this moment to draw our shoulders up around our ears and then exhale, let them fall down and back. And as they fall down, let the crown lift up to the sky and feel the alignment of the head above the heart, above the hips. So now let's breathe a little bit fuller and a little bit deeper. So as our heel rests there, right in that midpoint, this pressure helps to soften the rigidity within our pelvic floor to release our body. So it's that central tendon that we're pressing into. So as we're inhaling, draw down your spine into your perineum, making the breath a thin stream like the smoke from an incense stick. And slowly feel your cheeks and jaw softening. Feel the tongue resting down to the floor of your mouth. As the constriction in the jaw, coupled with the strain in the pelvic floor, they kind of work hand in hand. So we bring the awareness to these spaces to let them soften. So now begin by relaxing the tissue in and around your pelvic floor. And let's take in several long, slow, deep breaths. And once your breath has settled, exhale deeply. And at the end of the exhalation, we're going to begin to contract the perineum. So at the base of the pelvic floor, and we're going to contract with 7 pulses. It's kind of like a catch and release action. So just pulsing. And then at the end of those 7 pulses, we're going to take a long inhalation, brushing the breath against the spine. So let's take a deep, full breath, just breathing in along the spine. And then as you exhale, begin the pulses. And then after 7, release and inhale again. Feel the breath along the spine. Take another breath here, and then we're going to do it again. So at the end of the exhalation, the next exhalation, begin your pulses 7 times. Squeezing the perineum, feeling the subtle contraction in the lower abdominals, helping you gently pull up and in. And then release. So let's do that 2 more times, your time, your breath. Just take 2 inhales and exhales between. The end of the exhale, begin the pulse. Perhaps one more time. And now just let yourself soften. And perhaps you even notice the subtle clenching as well through the anal sphincter muscles. So just let the breath now meet you, and we're going to start to roll down onto our back. So if you have that blanket underneath you, go ahead and use that for your head, as we're going to just roll down so we can really soften. So as we breathe, let's let our full back body rest on the earth. Perhaps let the heels fall wide. And now just let the breath travel up and down the spine. We started by rooting in our root chakra. And that was to cut through the energetic knot of resistance to change. So we're going to start to feel our energy centers as we integrate all the chakras. So let's bring our hands in front of our hips and just start to rub them together to feel the energy in the hands. So maybe let the head rock side to side to just let go of any final holding there in the head and the neck. And now just start to bring some space between the hands so you can still just feel that energy. So as much space so you can continue to feel the energy between your hands. So our hands are a chakra system in and of themselves. If you look at hand reflexology, it represents all the spaces that we work with in our chakra system. So let's feel that energy. We're going to bring our hands down in front of our root chakra, so all the way down here, our genitals, where we envision that red ball of energy. Breathing in the mantra, I am. As we hold this area that represents our safety and security, breathing in, I am. Notice if there's any holding in the body elsewhere and just see if you can find ease. And now let's bring the hands moving on up into the second chakra. So now just feeling the energy there. Now just let your hands kind of open and close with your breath as your arms kind of rest there on your body. Just feel the color orange expanding in that space. In the space that represents expressing our needs. Sacral chakra. We breathe in. I feel. I feel. So now just seal the hands onto the sacral chakra, the second chakra. Just let the hands rest there for a moment. And then now bring your hands up over the solar plexus between the rib cage. The color yellow. This is the seat of our personal power. So now breathe in this space. Breathing in, I do. I do. I can feel all the energy apparently. So now let's bring our hands to seal that in, sealing in our personal power with the energy and connection of our hands. Hugging our ribs, however they want to be. And now bring your hands over the heart space. Just start to sense and feel the energy of the heart. Envisioning that color green. This is our space of our ego and our spirit. Breathing in, I am love. Now let's seal that into our heart space. The love that you are. Now begin to sense the energy of the throat as your hands move up. Just starting to feel the hands near the throat. And if you need to touch the throat, clear the throat of anything you feel that might be there blocking your expression and speaking your truth. And then just start to feel that energy pulsating in the throat. Color blue. Your space of communication. It is my right to speak my truth. It is my right to speak my truth. So let's bring that into our throat and seal that in. And now gently guiding the hands up in front of the third eye and the forehead space. So noticing what that might feel like, and then maybe start to feel the pulsing energy. Notice if there's anything that needs to be cleared off. Color indigo here. This is our place of understanding, our place of overthinking. As we breathe in, I see. I see. Let's bring our healing hands to the third eye space as we seal that in. And now let the hands come out over the head, just noticing this energy in the head space. Envisioning perhaps a crown on your head in the color gold. This is the place of our consciousness. It can be a place of where we feel disconnected. So as you feel the energy here, maybe let it expand as much as feels good. And then when it feels right, bring your hands to seal in that energy, breathing in, I understand. I understand. So now let's bring our hands off the head and just kind of bring the hands down in front, going over the crown again, down the third eye, through the throat space, down the heart, just kind of holding the energy in all of those spaces, down the solar plexus, down all the way to the root. And now just let your hands rest off to the side and just notice what's here. And now let's start to just turn the toes up a little bit and move, just rock the feet side to side. Really invite the heels to land, feel the whole body land. And now just rest in that vibration of your energy, your frequency. And now just for these next 3 breaths, I invite you to feel as if your energetic body is expanding, as if there's a bubble surrounding you of just you, so you take up more space. So perhaps it's a gold bubble, or it might be something else altogether. It can be rainbow if you like. Let that hold you. And maybe just even spread the fingers, spread the toes as you feel that energetic bubble expanding. And now take up more space. Reach your arms to the letter Y, reach your legs to the letter V, breathing in, creating that kind of X shape with our body. And then slowly drawing in, start to bend the knees, draw them into the chest, start to rock back and forth, massaging the back. Maybe circle the knees a few times, just going in one direction and then the other. So the mantra that we'll come back to will be I am one. But I might invite you to find one that fits you. Maybe it was one of those that I spoke today. So find the one for you to come back to. And then let's start to still the movement and open up the arms to the letter T. Let's exhale, let the knees fall right, gently look left. Breathe in, integration. Breathe out, unity. So now when you're ready, inhale, look up, draw the knees up. Exhale, let the knees fall, left gaze gently softens right. Breathing in, integration. Breathing out, union. And shifting the mantra into I am full. So that's where we're going to hold the space in. Is I am full unto myself. So now let's draw the gaze up, draw the knees up, and then we're going to rock forward and back until we find our way up into our boat pose. And then we'll run over dog in the process. So just rocking up and down until you find balance on the seat bones. And then find the nice tall spine. You can keep holding on to the back of the thighs or reach your hands forward, breathing here. Feel the length from the root all the way out the crown. Feel the navel reaching back. Feel the collarbones expanding as the heart reaches forward. Now maybe you add on by tapping one foot down at a time, breathing here. I am whole. Last time each foot. And then soften the feet down. Let's let the knees fall open to the side. You can come onto your blanket if you'd like for your seat or stay here. So now let's sit tall. And then we're going to exhale, soften, let the body fold down, melt down. Now let the breath move through those inner thighs, the back of the hips. Imagine you're like a butterfly, like your legs are, just slowly unfurling from your cocoon to blossom into the beautiful butterfly that you are. So now let's slowly rise up, and then we're going to open our legs and take up more space. So lengthening out both legs into that big straddle position. So now let's go ahead and bring that right hand outside the thigh and frame that right leg. And then we're going to slowly look toward the toes, flexing the foot. Let's slowly exhale, fold gently forward and down towards the knee. So really feel that active energy through the legs, but you can keep a soft little bend in the knee. And if you'd like, we're going to take an inhale and just reach that front arm up to the sky. So let that inhale bring you high. Exhale, let you soften. So let yourself just take up as much space as feels right. Inhale into your wholeness. Exhale as you connect to the earth. Inhale, integration. Exhale, union. Plug that into the earth. One more time, rising up into your wholeness. Exhaling down, softening. And now let's rise up, slowly walk your hands back, sitting tall, and then we'll frame the other leg, framing the left leg, flexing both feet. Begin to hinge forward as you reach towards the left toes. Let the head come down, and you're going to begin to actively send that right hip down at the same time. And now breathe here. We're going to begin that motion again, where we begin to inhale up with that front arm, expanding into our wholeness. Exhaling down, softening into the oneness. Inhale, that integration. Exhale, unity. Let's do maybe one or two more. Get your balance on both sides. And then pause here, look down again at the knee. And then let the inhale bring you back up to the sky. And then we'll draw our feet in one at a time, crossing the feet at the ankles, and then we can press ourselves forward. You can set your blanket off to the side or keep it for support underneath your knees. And then let's go ahead into our table position. We'll move through that back body a little bit more to clear out any final blockages along the chakra system. So let the belly soften, begin to lift the heart, lift the gaze, feel the crown lifting back, feel the tail lifting high. And then exhaling, lifting the back body up to the sky like a cat as you look down. So now I invite you to imagine, as we're beginning to look back up to the sky, imagine your gaze is going beyond your crown, connecting to the tail. And then continue that circle as you look down and connect the circle through the center, through your legs to the tail. So now just continue that breath, imagining that circle being created. The last time. And then let's come into our nice neutral flat back. So a nice flat back, we're going to start by hovering the right hand and the left knee. So just checking the hands to make sure the index fingers are shining forward. Start to hover the right hand, left knee. Begin to find your table. So send the foot back, send the heel back, send the fingertips forward. Gaze keeps looking down at the earth. Now bend the knee, reach the hand back for the foot, and it can be an energetic reach or a holding of the foot. So now start to lift up through the shoulder, start to lift up through the knee as you open through the hip. Breathe here. You can just let the gaze go towards the front edge of the mat. And then let go of the foot, let go of let the hand float down, let the knee float down. And then set that foot down at the earth. So keep that left leg back in space. Let's do a little pulse forward and back to feel a little more length in the hamstring. So just pulsing your weight forward and back. And then let's draw the left toes over to the right corner edge. We're going to kickstand the right foot over towards the left side of the mat. And now draw that left knee behind the right, and we'll sink our hips back into our cross-legged child's pose. So you may want to block here for under your head. I meant to mention that earlier. So feel free to grab that where your head can hang out. So let the breath move through those hips now. And just take 2 more breaths here. And then we're going to make our way back onto our hands and knees. Slowly lengthen the left leg back, return the right toes back behind the knee, and then draw the left foot back and draw the knee down. You can move the block forward again. So now let's switch sides. So now we're going to hover the left hand, right knee. So hover. Once you find your stability, it's all about finding our center. Then we send the heel back, send the fingertips forward, keep looking down in between your hands. So now begin to bend through the knee, send the hand back as you reach back for the foot. Energetically, you're holding. So now press the foot into the hand as the hand holds the foot, opening the shoulder, opening through the hip. Breathe here. I am whole. We're mirroring our wholeness with our movement today. Slowly release the foot, release the hand. Slowly let the hand come down as the foot comes down to the earth behind the left hip or right hip. And then draw the foot over to the left side and then kickstand the left foot toes over to the right edge of your mat. And then drop that right knee behind the left as you sink your hips back to your cross-legged child's pose. So once again, you can grab the block for your head. And then let your breath lead. Now when you're ready, take another breath or 2. And then on your inhale, come back to your hands and knees, move the block off. Send the right toes back, draw the left foot back, and then return the right knee underneath the hip. And now let's walk our hands forward. Point those index fingers forward, spread those fingers nice and wide. Let's flex the feet. We're going to start to lift the knees and slowly come on up into your downward dog. Let's start to pedal out the heels one at a time. And then really send those shoulders back like you're plugging them in. Maybe shake your head a little bit. So now let the crown of the head drink in the nurturing support of the earth beneath you as you draw that in through the crown. And let the breath flow all the way out through the tail. And that space, that's really out the space that we were working with as we did our Mula Bandha breath work today. Space in between the genitals and the anus right there is really where we're breathing out. Let's take just 2 more breaths, walking our dog here. And then we're going to take the time to look between our hands, check in with your body, and then choose how you're going to get forward. Step, hop, jump, forward, walk, however you choose to get here into your forward fold. And then we'll grab our blocks to frame our mat if they're not there. And just find a nice, gentle forward fold with a soft bend in the knees. Let your body rock. Now we're going to create kind of like an infinity sign with our arms. So we'll start to find stillness. We'll bring the right hand behind, the right forearm behind the right calf, reaching for the left shin. And then bring the left arm behind the left calf and reach for the right shin. So now breathe in here and have a nice, real soft bend in those knees. Breathing in the wholeness that you are. So slowly just notice how your arms are crossed, which hand is on top, right or left. Notice, because we're going to switch in a little while. So now let's bring our hands back to the earth. We're going to inhale up, tracing our shins up right beneath the knees, L-shaped body. Breathe here as you lengthen out the spine. Now begin to soften at the knees, draw the fingertips back to the hips, elbows to the sky. Inhale, rise up to the sky with the head. And then inhale up with the hands all the way up together and draw them down to the heart. So begin your gentle rock forward and back. Perhaps move a little side to side. Find your position here in space. So now, once you find your position, let your body find stillness and lift the toes. Spread them far and wide, plant them in. Now begin to feel the lift of the inner arches, feel the inner thighs spiral in and back. Feel the gentle lift from the pelvis up to the navel. So now we're going to send the weight to the left leg as we slowly lift the right heel off of the earth. So now begin to draw the right knee up. And now we're going to hold the right knee with the left hand. So reach that left hand. We're going to revolve and reach that hand back in space. So just start to reach that right hand back. I know we're challenging our balance today. And then maybe if you wish to add on, because you want to add more challenge, look over to the right. Maybe even gently back. And no, you can always rest your foot on a block. That's always also a great pose, or just let the foot be on the earth and grab for the outer thigh. So now let the gaze come back forward. We're going to slowly draw the hands back, bring the hands to the heart. Now we're going to send the knee down. So just send that right knee down so the thighs are parallel, and then reach the right hand back towards the foot. So once again, it might be energetically. So now reach that left arm forward, really bend or soften through the left knee, not really, just soften through it. And now maybe you add on or you stay here in your dancer pose. Slowly you can gently hinge forward, pressing the foot into the hand, keeping the knee inside of the body. So let the gaze just soften to the earth. Or if you're still upright, look forward in space, something stationary. Breathe here. And then slowly come on up. Release the foot. Let's draw that heel out in front, create the figure four. And then we're going to bend the knee. We're going to sink our hips back, seated figure four for a moment, hands at the heart. And then lower your hands to meet the blocks or the earth. You might want to come onto your blocks, medium or high setting. And then just pause here in your figure four. You can lengthen out that left leg even a little bit. And then maybe sink back and down again. So feel free to play a little bit here, letting your leg come, left leg bend and then lengthen. And we're not locking out the knee joint, we're just letting it gently lengthen with a soft bend in the knee. So if you need to, come back up, but most of us can probably just uncross that left or right leg, and then we're going to step it back into our low lunge, and we'll walk the blocks back behind or underneath the shoulders. So now pause here as you check your alignment. Let's begin to soften the rear knee down, relaxing the rear foot. So now maybe you walk your hands back a little bit, maybe you come to your high setting. Let's slowly come on up as we feel those hips just gently shifting forward. So the right hip drawing forward, left hip drawing back. So maybe you stay here. We'll walk those blocks right there underneath the shoulders. Maybe you come up a little bit higher. So maybe you stop at the knee, or maybe you come up even all the way up to the sky. So now we're going to move into that gentle psoas stretch. So let's slowly reach that left hand down to the thigh or to the block outside of the thigh. And then gently lean over. Leaning that right fingertip towards the left side. And breathe and let that soften in that space in front of the hip, like kind of not in front of the hip, it's kind of in the 2 inches away from the hip bone. And now slowly come back to the center, lower both hands down, maybe come down to the lower setting, and then now sink your hips back. So you can come back as far as you'd like. You can keep your hips high, or you can sink your hip all the way back towards your heel. You can also use a block underneath the left hip to support you. So let's create even more space along the back of the left leg. Breathing in, I am whole. So now let's slowly shift our weight back forward. Walk the foot forward if you need to. And then let's lift up the rear knee. We're going to take our step forward, coming back to our forward fold. Take your moment to just be here in your forward fold. We're going to do that infinity sign again with our arms. So this time we'll start with the left arm, reaching it behind the calf, reaching the fingertips for the right shin, and then the right arm underneath, unless it was different on yours. And then reach the right arm behind and reach for the left shin. Bend the knees, breathe here. Right and hold. Now release your hold. Find whatever forward fold you want. You can even just lengthen out the legs a little bit and rock your hips side to side. So now let's begin to trace our shins, bringing our fingertips right beneath the knees, L-shaped body. Softening at the knees, fingertips back to the hips again. Now reach arms maybe out to the side. The letter T, inhale, rise. Hands come up to the sky and down through the heart center. So now maybe do that little rock forward and back one more time. Find your center space. Let yourself be anchored here and centered in self. Spread the toes, spreading your energetic body further. And now lift the inner arches, spiral the inner thighs back, lift the pelvis up to the navel. And now lift the left heel off of the earth. Begin to maybe draw the knee up, find the balance. Soften the shoulders, soften the jaw. So now maybe reach the right hand for the outer left thigh. Reach the left hand back in space. Maybe keep looking forward, or if you wish to add on, begin to look to the left. Breathe here. Begin to unwind the gaze. Slowly unwind the arms, return the hands back to the heart. Let's slowly soften the knee down as the thighs become parallel. Now reach the left hand back for the foot. And maybe that's where you stop as we get that quad release in here. Once again, keep the knee inside of the body. And now if you wish to add on, you can move into dancer pose, softening through that right supporting leg. Maybe hinging at the hips, maybe reaching the right arm forward, pushing the foot into the hand. Creating that circle again behind you. Just moving a little further away from the earth, chance of challenging our balance. And we still come back to ourselves, even in the moments of not being all that maybe we wanted to be. Letting ourselves be human. So now slowly come back up if you're in your dancer pose. Slowly release the foot, draw that ankle out front, and then bring the ankle above that right knee. Hands can come to the heart. Let's squat back and down into our seated figure 4. Yes, I know we're really challenging that balance today. Me too. Use the support of a wall. Hopefully you have something nearby. So you can stay there, or you can begin to forward fold, reaching for your blocks, finding your forward fold, and then play around with it here. So bend and lengthen out the leg. And just let that breath meet the outer hip. We just got 2 more breaths here in this figure 4. So slowly begin to uncross that left leg, and when you're ready, take that step back, walk the blocks back underneath the shoulders, wiggle the toes back into that low lunge. And then when you get to that space, slowly let the rear knee soften so you're resting right above the kneecap. And then walk the blocks back so you can come a little bit higher. And then let's square those hips forward. Left hip forward, right hip back. So maybe come up to that higher setting in the blocks. Decide if you wish to stay there. And then we'll add on, continuing to progress in whatever way is honoring of our wholeness. So now we'll add on with that psoas stretch. So bring the right hand down to the thigh or to the block outside of the thigh, and gently lean the left fingertips over to the side. Just let the breath meet in here. Breathing in integration. Breathing out union. And perhaps reverse it, breathing in union. Breathing out at integration. So now let the left hands come back, reach back up to the sky, and then return the hand down to the block or earth. Begin to sink your hips back, coming back as far as you'd like, maybe all the way back to the heel. You can flex the front foot. Just breathe along the back of the leg. Now on your next inhale, begin to shift back forward, shifting back into your low lunge. Let's slowly lift up the rear knee. So flex the foot, lift the knee. When you're ready, we're going to step back forward, final forward fold. Hang out here, maybe rock the hips side to side here. And then we're going to just find a little bit of balance on for the ball mounts of our feet. So we're going to slowly come into our blissful toes. So go ahead, bring your blocks in front of your feet. That way you have them for support. We're going to bend the knees, lifting our heels off of the earth, and maybe the thighs can become parallel with the earth. So then you can move your blocks back, you can frame your legs, you can have that support. If you wish to add the extra balance, bring your hands to your heart. And breathe here, breathing in through the soles of your feet, feeling even more space through the soles of your feet. Spread the fingers wide too. Spread the palms, let them meet at the heart center. Now slowly lower the hands back to the blocks or earth. Slowly lift the hips back to the sky. Just rock your feet back, releasing the feet. And then we're going to step back to down dog. So move the blocks off to the side, bending the knees, stepping the feet back one at a time to your downward dog. So let's find a nice wide down dog to create space in the sacrum. So just widen your feet to the outer edges of the mat and begin to rock your hips just side to side. Then let's come back to stillness. Find your way back with the feet into alignment with the hips. And then let's reach the right leg high into a three-legged dog. Begin to bend at the knee, soften into that attitude position. And now begin to square off the shoulder, slowly lift up the left armpit. Breathing here. You can circle that ankle out while it's here in your three-legged dog, back in that attitude position. It's our right to speak our truth, women. So now find stillness, slowly turn the knee down towards the earth. We're going to come into pigeon pose. So we're going to draw that right knee behind the wrist, and then we'll set that left knee down and walk the knee back. We'll get to that place, and maybe you use a blanket here, maybe you use a block to support you if you're in your pigeon pose. So now let's decide what we need here. Maybe we stay high. Maybe we begin to find some restoration as we come down. Let your body lead. Maybe you come even closer down to the earth. Just let yourself find restoration in the space of integration, union, and wholeness. You actually can imagine as you're breathing in the integration, you're breathing out the union. Let the wholeness envelop all of it, the wholeness of you. Let's just be here for 2 more breaths, and you have the option, you can also stay here, but I'm going to add on. If you wish to add on, we're going to move into our queen pigeon. It's called king pigeon, but I renamed it. So we're just going to come back up onto our hands, and then we'll draw the right hand in the center under the heart, and then begin to bend the left knee, reaching back for the left foot. So you can look over that shoulder as well as you look back and create that circle, releasing again through the quad. Maybe take another breath here. Slowly release the foot. Let's spread the hands wide, flex the left foot, step the right foot back into downward dog. Check the hands, press through the index finger, thumb side of the palm. And now slowly lift up the left heel, bend the knee, open the hip. And then square off the shoulders, lift the right armpit. Maybe circle the ankle. Thanking your ankle for the balance work. And now let's begin to turn the knee down towards the earth. We're going to begin to draw the knee behind the left wrist. You can walk that shin forward where it wants to go, and then slowly soften the right knee down, and then walk that knee back. So we're resting above the kneecap. You'll find the space where it feels just right. So once you get there, decide if you need a block or a blanket to support you. And then decide where you want to go. Let your self slowly descend down to find the restoration at your time. Now we'll breathe in unity. Breathe out integration. As we surround it in the wholeness that we are. Just notice if you're holding or gripping anywhere and see if you can soften. We'll be staying here for two more breaths. Start to make our way up if you want to add on. So when it feels right, come up to your hands, and then this time we'll draw the left hand in the center under the heart. Start to bend the right knee, reaching the hand back for the foot, or energetically reaching back, maybe looking back. Breathing in, I am whole. I am integrated and whole. I am united and whole. Last breath here. And then release that right foot. We're going to rock off to the left side this time and draw that right knee out in front. So then we're going to slowly make our way down, and we can do our last little bit of work here. So let's sit tall, shoulders right over those hips. And now lean back with the heart reaching forward, lean back, tall spine. Maybe add on final boat pose. Maybe let go with the hands. And now decide how you wish to descend. You can lower the feet down, or you can slowly roll down, really working the core one last time. Vertebrae by vertebrae, rolling all the way down. And now feel the length in the body. Reach the arms overhead, reach the feet away. Let's slowly wrap the left thumb and index finger around the right wrist. Press the right hand away as the right foot presses away. Lengthening out our whole body. And then exhale, release the right side. Now switch left or right, reaching the right thumb and index finger around the left wrist. Press the left palm away, press the left foot away as if you're being pulled on the left side body. And slowly soften. Let's draw the knees in. One more back body release as we rock side to side. Maybe find a happy baby here where you reach for the inside edge, outside edge of the feet, the calves, or the thighs. And let yourself rock. And then begin to draw the knees in. Let's draw our body into a nice tight ball. Breathing everything in, remembering the seed that was once in our mother's womb. And then we're going to expand and take up all the space that we are into our wholeness. And you have the option to go into this reclined goddess, so into that butterfly pose with the legs. You can reach the arms where you want to go or wrap them overhead, hands on the elbows. If you need support under the thighs, grab your blocks. And now breathing here as you feel the body softening and letting go of any final holding for our final rest in Shavasana. In a space of integration, union, and wholeness. And maybe as you begin to move into the space of rest, come back to the mantra that spoke to you and speak it out loud 3 times to let your body hear the vibration. I am whole. Now let everything begin to soften even more deeply down. Releasing the breath from the crown down the spine, all the way out through the roots. And then breathing in again through the roots, up through the crown. And continue the circular breath. Feeling the life force that gently flows through you. Continuing to follow the rhythm of your breath. As it's time, sisters, to fulfill your destiny and be everything that you've ever dreamed of being. Your soul's mission. We all have infinite potential and we have unique gifts to offer humanity. Many of us can be trapped by fear or lower consciousness or altered vibration. But if we work to enlighten our awakened consciousness, we can prevail in building our dreams and visions. So the Merkaba is a sacred shape representing duality, the positive, active, electric, and masculine, and the negative, passive, magnetic, and feminine. In creation of the Merkaba, it represents the law of spirit and the law of matter. And it looks like 2 intersecting 3-dimensional triangles, also known as tetrahedrons. So perhaps you can begin to visualize those 2 brilliant intertwined white tetrahedrons with one pointing down and one pointing up. From the outside, this looks like a white 6-sided 3-dimensional star surrounding your body. And you are seated in the middle, forming a balancing point. The intersecting points are golden and glowing with interconnected luminous light bands. And these tetrahedrons represent pure divine energy as they constantly spin, first slowly, then at a faster pace. And as you sit inside of this light body vehicle, the energy of Merkaba moves and flows, harmonizing and supporting you and balancing your energy. And as you engage this Merkaba, think positive thoughts and imagine a 3-dimensional star spinning and expanding. And notice what might happen if a negative thought manifests while you are inside. How is your light body affected? Just being aware. As this practice can also help us to strengthen our aura and the connection to our inner light. And when we have a strong aura, we move through life without compromising our beliefs, and we're insusceptible to what others think about us. And this Merkaba is the perfect integration of the energies, and you are at the center, which gives you the ability to transform your thoughts and deeds from the past, present, and future. You are the bridge between spirit and matter, balancing your light body. Negative words or limiting beliefs are absorbed from all others, and they will dissipate. Perhaps it looks like a spark of light or a light burst. And just watch as these paradoxes and conflicts and limitations are spun out of orbit. You will begin to feel unburdened both mentally and spiritually. And perhaps seeing yourself radiating light, universal love, and selflessness into the world. And even begin to take a mental snapshot of the energy you feel right now. And recall it whenever you need to remember your true, infinite, and divine nature. The Merkaba is a vehicle designed to clear your energy, and you don't have to do anything for it to work properly. It's with you energetically in your daily life. To recall it, simply pull up this mental snapshot and maybe connect your hands to your body to feel it, to unite with it. So with loving gratitude, thank yourself for arriving today. And let yourself rest for the next few moments. And now just start to come back to your breath as you feel the full deep breath move in and move out all along the chakra system. Feeling in this energy, remembering this energy in space. And then if you'd like to draw the knees up, just maybe lengthen out the body, lengthen out the arms again, stretch one more time, take up a lot of space. And then we'll slowly roll to the right side, taking your time. Let that left hand come down to the earth in front of your heart. Take the moment to breathe in gratitude for the earth as you slowly press yourselves up into seated. Let's just bring our hands again down to the earth, planting them in. You may need to move the fluff out from underneath your seat bones. Feeling the connection of the earth, let's create that aura of golden light surrounding us. Breathing in, noticing what you're feeling now. Draw the hands up together over the crown. Let's bring the hands down on the crown, over the crown. Feel the crown. Feel the energetic space. Let's bring the hands in front of the third eye. Just feel the energy now. Down in front of the throat, feeling it here. Pause in front of the heart. Notice. Pause down in front of the solar plexus. I do. All the way down into the sacral. I feel. down to the root. I am. Notice. And then let's bring our hands back in the prayer position in front of the heart as we seal this into our heart center. As we bow now in reverence and honor. And namaste, my friends.
Thank you, guys.